What are you doing right now? It's your reality. Make it up. It's like
Welcome to another turbo supercharger version of the Jackie Jett Show. I am Jackie Jett. I'm your cable TV whore. I'm your homo host du jour. Tonight, we have a protuberant show for you. One that is sure to puff you up. Along with myself, we have our regular Paul Watts from Liza Crisis and Sistah Billie Freakazoid. First Lady Laura Bush and Sarah Michelle Gellar will not be here tonight. However, in their place, we're going to be having from the outrageous, in-your-face reality TV program Cheaters, we're going to be having the producer, Bobby Goldstein, and that oh-so-cute new host of the show, Joey Greco. We also have an exclusive one-on-one Barbara Wawa-style interview with Sistah Billie Freakazoid, who's going to be discussing for the very first time her sex change/facelift trauma and her subsequent success as a rap mime artist. Now, before we get started, let's turn up the lights and see if anyone has any questions for me. Anyone? Have any questions for me? Anyone? Anyone? Okay. I'm here with my cock. My big red cock. It's fun. So I want to ask you a question. Have you ever stopped to think and then forgot to start again? Do you think that consciousness is just that annoying time between naps? Then perhaps you've taken too much acid. I want you to meet a cool, groovy, far-out, right-on, hip chick who thought that LSD, acid, was the answer, yet no one had ever asked her the question. Take a look.
I first dropped acid when I was 18. I was over at these people's house one night. This guy I went to school with was over there and asked me if I wanted to try some acid. I had read about it in the newspapers and heard a few friends talk about it, so I was curious. I was pretty jacked up on marijuana, so I decided to try it, and I dropped it. I don't know what I was waiting for, a flash or a rush or whatever, but I kept sitting there waiting, and nothing was happening. So I got up and then went to the dresser and put on a pair of pink capris and a green and brown blouse. I thought the colors were beautiful. So we tripped down to Market Street and I decided to buy a hot dog. I was very hungry, and I had put mustard and ketchup and relish in the usual, and I put the hot dog up to my mouth, and somebody started screaming. I didn't know what was happening, so I looked up at my friend Terry and said, "Did you hear that? Didn't you hear someone scream?" He said no. I got the hot dog up to my mouth again, and I was ready to bite, and the scream got louder. And it hit me. No, it couldn't be. And I looked down at the hot dog, and there was a face on him. Eyes, nose, a mouth. I had put the ketchup to where it looked like his hair. And he started telling me that I couldn't eat him. That he had a wife and 7 kids at home to support. And I stood there with this hot dog and asked Terry, "Do you know this hot dog is talking to me?" And he says, "Nah, let's get out of here." He thought I was just faking. And I told him, "Look at the thing, he's got a face, and he's screaming." And the guy finally looked over and he got on the same trip that I was on. And we sat there carrying on a conversation with that hot dog. Finally, I decided I was just hallucinating, so I put it in my mouth and bit down. It scream so loud that you could hear it all over town, so I had to throw it on the ground and step on it. And I was jumping on this hot dog in the middle of Market Street. I realized that I had murdered it. And I took off screaming down the street, scared.
I hope the message of that clip was not entirely lost on you. The message clearly being that if you take acid, do not order a hot dog. It's probably better to order a hamburger because a hamburger is less likely to turn into an evil troll doll. I know you've heard the phrase that cheaters never win, but that's not always the case. Take our most recent presidential election.
Or just take our president,
Please.
please.
However, on Cheaters TV, cheaters never win. This show is syndicated in about 80% of the United States and is currently invading Canada. So if you are thinking about dipping your pen in the company ink, I suggest that you take a look-see and give it a rethink.
We've got the people from Cheaters here. What's Cheaters? Oh my God, if you haven't seen Cheaters, I gotta tell you, it's one of my favorite television programs. We have Bobby Goldstein, the producer, and we also have Joy Greco, who just got the greatest gig in the world, which is being the new host for Cheaters. And I'm gonna let Bobby explain to you, our viewers, what it's all about, because it's very emotional, to say the least. Tell us about it, Bobby.
Cheaters features actual domestic relations investigations, and we catch people screwing around on their spouse or their lover. That's what it's all about.
That's what it's all about, only it's a little more than that. They don't catch them, they bust them, don't you?
There's a confrontation after we catch them with their genitalia in the cookie jar. That's true.
What's the weirdest cookie jar, say, that you've found, the genitalia?
A man with another woman that turned out to be a transvestite was probably one of the most shocking and surprising episodes.
I'm just wondering if it's one of the people that works on this show.
It could very well be. As I look around here,
How about age-wise? What's the oldest cheaters that you've had?
the oldest case we've had, we followed a grandfather who was in his late 70s for quite a while. His wife, a grandmother, thought that he was messing around. The evidence was frosted hearts on the shower door and a pair of panties that she found. So we watched this guy for a long time, and all he could do was walk with his cane. If he was satisfying anybody, it had to have been with that cane, I'm sure.
Yeah.
It turned out that it was the grandson sneaking over to the grandparents' house when he knew they weren't there, and he had a little girlfriend that he'd bring over there with him.
Oh my God.
So-
I thought for a second it was going to be a grandson with a grandmother, an incestuous kind of... It's so Texas. That would have been. So Texas.
That hadn't happened to us yet, but
Okay.
I am waiting for that.
Right. Have you had any gay or lesbian couples?
Oh yes, we're an equal opportunity TV show, so there's no discrimination. And we have had several, maybe 3, 4, or 5 gay couples in the last 2 seasons.
That just baffles me, Bobby, because gay and lesbian people do not cheat on their spouses. Are you sure they were gay?
I'm sure that they were gay, and I'm sure that they were cheating, and I'm sure that gay people, just like straight people, have the same propensity
You're absolutely right.
for fornication.
You're absolutely
They love it.
right. Breeders, homos, we're all horny.
Absolutely.
That's all I can say.
It matters not.
Is the show airing in Canada, by the way?
We just did a deal, and I think that we will be on most all the major provinces in Canada by this year's end.
Look, Canada.
Right.
Look for these guys.
Yeah.
Now, you brought me a little something here.
Yes.
What is this?
Well, this is just one of a sample of our few products. These are some Cheaters panties, and of course, if you ever undress a woman and you find these
Not
panties
likely
on
to
her,
happen.
there's a big conspicuous notice over the vaginal coverage area, as we'll call it, and it says, "Contents of garments are off limits. Contact 1-800-CHEATERS or www.cheaters.com." It's kind of like a brand. If you ever find somebody in a pair of those You know they should be off limits unless you want to have some extra fun.
Light, delicate,
Yes.
not fishy. Would go well with a Merlot, perhaps. Maybe, would you mind trying these on for us?
You know, I
Joey's
actually
very
had
pretty
them
down
on
there.
earlier, and they're not my size.
Did you say he's pretty down there?
I said he's very pretty down there.
Is he pretty down
Oh,
there?
I have no idea. He's pretty up here, so I figured he'd
Yeah,
be pretty down there.
I bet he'd be pretty down there. In fact, I think I'm through interviewing
He's
you
our hood
now.
ornament.
Uh-huh, you're handsome.
Well, thank you.
Now, have you already been out on your first cheater experience?
Yeah, and it was quite interesting.
Were you
I'll say.
scared shitless?
Not knowing what to expect.
I
It was,
bet.
I got tossed around a little bit.
Uh-huh.
But it was an experience.
Your heart must have been going. Pa, 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 pa.
You know when anyone's beaten, when you start hearing it in your ear
Yes.
the entire time. So
And what was your very first outing? Who were you busting, a dude or a chick?
a cheating episode or
a
an
cheating-
Because I don't know
cheating
if we branched
episode.
into outings yet. But,
No.
But we.
That's an outers. That's your next show. Outers instead of cheaters. My God, have I got a list for you. I lived in LA for 17 years. We could go to town. And before we wrap, well, congratulations, by the way.
Oh,
That
thank
is
you. No.
really, it's a really, for a Dallas actor, it's really, really an amazing thing. And even though I've heard rumors that you're pretty down there, I'm not going to go there. I'm going to just let that be. I will say this, we've learned a lot today. We've learned that people, you at home, be faithful to your spouses and significant others for no other reason that you don't want to get your ass busted by these people. All right, we love these guys. Hey, don't change that channel because you know what will happen? Jerry Falwell will come to your house and eat you. So stay tuned, all right? Thank you. Thank you.
Hey, bang, bang, cheater, cheater, bang, bang. Cheater, cheater, bang, bang. We bust you. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I want to tell you this. You got a good look. Yes, you got a good look at the producer of Cheaters. His name is Bobby Goldstein. So here's what I verily, verily say unto you. I say unto you that if you see this man lurking around your neighborhood, I strongly suggest that you reconsider any extramarital affairs that you might be currently thinking about having. I could have just saved your marriage. Next up is a James W. Johnson video. You know he's one of my favorites. He considers himself an anti-stylistic media artist, which at the very first, I thought it meant he was without a wardrobe person or sans wardrobe personnel, and then I realized that was just fucking silly. But it's far more serious and far more rebellious than that. You should go check out his website if you want to find out more information and see his artwork from all around the world. But in the meantime, ladies and germicides, please allow me to present to you a bodacious, protuberant video from Mr. James W. Johnson.
I took you like a wife to have and to hold, to love and cherish, till death do we part. And after all these years, I'd go crazy without you. My heart would explode. My fingers and lips would be useless. My nose, my tongue, pointless. So if love is blind, then I must be blind, deaf and dumb, because you are the very air I breathe. I love you more than life.
Can you say far freaking out? I think the message in that video is very clear. Thank you for pot smoking. You know, human interest stories come and go, and most are a dime a dozen. But we paid far more than that for our next guest. She evolved from a disfiguring surgical treatment to become the world's top rap mime artist. Actually, the world's only rap mime artist. Cookies and cupcakes. There is no reason to tell our next guest she has the right to remain silent. A one-on-one Barbara Wawa style interview with Sistah Billie Freakazoid.
You know, our next guest is really not a guest at all. She's a regular here on the Jackie Jett Show and the FunkyShoppingShow.com. Sistah Billie Freakazoid holds the distinct honor of being the world's only combined rap, and mime artist. The victim of a bungled sex change operation and facelift, she chose to continue life without ever uttering another single word. Here to interpret for Sistah Billie Freakazoid is Sistah's mother, Millie Freakazoid, who is an expert in the translation of mime and rap. So I say welcome to you both. I'm going to start right off by asking you, Sistah, thank you, which came first, the mime or the rap?
For me, they both came at the same time. One is an extension of the other. A prelude, if you will. A quaalude, if you want.
Well, why is it that you're now willing to discuss your sex change fiasco when you've been silent about it for so long?
Because I think the transgendered community needs to be made aware that having this type of procedure done is very risky and should not be performed in the back of a service station in Houston, no matter how clean the restrooms might be.
But you had a facelift done at the same time.
Yes, he was offering both for $1,800, and I have never been one to pass up a bargain.
So tell us a bit about the story of your early childhood life.
I was born with a protruding horizontal vagina. As I grew older, the protrusion became more and more protuberant to the point that the doctors realized it was, in actual fact, a penis. And then all hell broke loose.
In what way?
The hormones I was taking caused me to crave peanut oil, and as I became more and more depressed, I started adding it with Bailey's Irish cream. So I became a hermaphrodite alcoholic, at 18 with a really bad complexion. Being from a very poor family who were unable to afford sexual reassignment surgery, I struck out to make the money for myself.
By what means did you make your money?
You know those metal detectors that they advertise on TV? Mm-hmm. I bought one and spent the next several years scanning for lost change in the sand on the beaches of Southern California. Wanting to have the surgery completed by 23, my 5-year goal plan, I elected to have the discount version, and as they say, you get what you pay for. Oh, I don't want to talk about it anymore. Ask your next stupid question.
Okay, of your 3 CDs, As Femme as I Want to Be, Ain't Gonna Be Your Peanut, and I Am Sistah, See Me Roar, which is your favorite and why?
Well, I would have to say that I Am Sistah. At the time I recorded that, I was dating a bisexual action-adventure star and was flying high.
Well, what do you say to the critics that say no sound exists whatsoever on your CDs, that it's just basically listening to nothing?
Well, the same can be said for Michael Bolton or Destiny's Child. It is better for society to listen to nothing and retain it than it is to listen to something and forget it.
Well, have you found love yet?
I have found the only true everlasting love, the love of my right hand.
And what is next for Sistah?
I am currently working on my autobiography entitled Sistah is Doing It to Herself.
That is brilliant. Now, I understand, thank you also, Mother Millie, for helping us interpret. You must be very, very proud.
Oh, yes.
Tell me this. I know you've brought us a poem to share with us today that I think was written especially for the Jackie Jett show. Would you care to recite that and have Mother Freakazoid translate it for us?
Yes, I'd love to. All right, you ready, darling?
I'm ready.
Hopscotch, crisscross, wing, ding, jaunt, flaunt. Wrap around the compass, go. Pick a postcard, pen a letter, watch the wordies flow. They read, they know where you've been, how you show your gypsy brooding wanderlust. No! Gaudy, selfish, squishy prose of watch me, here I go.
That was so brilliant. Sistah, I think you're very brave to come forward with this story. Mother Millie Freakazoid, I think you're very brave to stand by your daughter through such rough times, and now she's a major star, so I'm sure she's bringing in some bucks for you. So that makes things really nice. So we've learned so much today about transgendered communities and freakazoids.
I'm Freakazoid.
I want to thank you for being with us, and to our viewing audience, I would like to say, please, don't change the channel. The United States government is still continuing to monitor your viewing habits. Thank you so much.
So what do we learn today, folks? It's important that we learn something at least once in a while. I think what we've learned is not to order a hot dog if you're tripping on acid and walking on Market Street in San Francisco. It's just not good. We've also learned that the new host of Cheaters is pretty down there. We also learned that when selecting a facility for sexual reassignment surgery or plastic reconstructive surgery, that the back of a gas station in Houston, Texas is probably not the best choice. We want to thank you for watching our show. Please, please, please visit our website, www.jackiejett.com, or our sister website, www.funkyshopingshow.com. Remember this. We only live once, so go out and make a total ass out of yourself. You'll find out how liberating it can be. Give them something to remember you by. In the meantime, don't hate me because at one time I used to be attractive.